What's good, everybody? Welcome to Bowler's Paradise. My name is Ben. I'm a USBC Silver Certified Coach, and today we are taking a look at the all-new Theorem from Track. Before we fire it up, be sure you subscribe to the channel. It's free, it's easy, and it's the best way to help us bring you the best non-biased and cross-brand reviews in bowling. So while you're down there, make sure you hit that notification bell too so you don't miss out on the next review. Track brings another shiny hybrid asym to the market with the all-new Theorem. The engine inside this one is the all-new MC² asymmetrical core with a 2.47 RG, an 0.46 differential, and an 0.17 intermediate diff. To go along with that, on the outside of this one is the Prime Response Hybrid cover stock, which is the same formulation as what was on the recently discontinued Track Proof, but switches to having that HK22 base material. For the layout, I went with a 5x4x3 2LS layout, which is pretty close to what we actually used on the Virtual Energy Blackout. Although it is a slightly weaker layout, with balls that I expect to be this angular out of the box, I like to take some of that away with the layout. I certainly want to be able to get in and cover some boards with it like it's designed to do, but I wanted to avoid a layout that forced me into that zone immediately. And on the lanes, it was a very interesting experience throwing the Theorem. When I was on the outside part of the lane, it felt a bit more core dominant, which makes sense with an 0.17 intermediate differential. But as I moved inside and the ball traveled through a lot more oil, it felt cover dominant, spinning up pretty quickly and continuing through the pins pretty well. There's definitely some torque when I get inside a fourth arrow, but the Theorem actually does two things pretty well simultaneously. And that's my favorite part about this one from Track. Balls that are in this strong but not top of the line strong position for most brands are typically pretty niche type pieces, and that's exactly what you get out of the Theorem. I don't think there's much hope in trying to make this your benchmark piece, but if you need to control some early friction on a medium length sport pattern or spin the whole lane on your Tuesday night league, the Theorem pretty much has you covered. But on the list of downsides, I think the Theorem is gonna suck pretty bad in the track area, ironically. Riding that line between where the ball hooks and where it skids with this one is a recipe for disaster, and you'll likely be forced to move either in or out to have any chance to strike consistently. But if you're bringing two more pieces with the Theorem, I think if you were to pair it with the Stealth and the Stealth Pearl, you'd actually be able to use and succeed with the Theorem when it's the right time and let those other two balls do the work the rest of the time. The original Stealth is arguably one of the best benchmark pieces in the game, and the Stealth Pearl will generate a similar amount of downlane angle to the Theorem, but will be weaker in overall hook potential. Taking a look at our cross-brand comparisons, I first grabbed the Virtual Energy Blackout, and unsurprisingly I see a ton of overlap here. The Virtual Energy is definitely cleaner than the Theorem, but a lot of that has to do with the fact that it's been used, and the Theorem is fresh out of the box. I think that after about 15 to 30 games with the Theorem, you'll see a very similar shape to this one from Storm. Then I grabbed one of my personal favorites, the Ebonite Emerge, and what I see is the difference in mass bias with the Emerge being more asymmetrical. There's no doubt any of these shots will hook, regardless of the amount of oil the ball is in, and that's because the core won't let it not hook. The Theorem being slightly more cover dominant creates a bit more of an angular shape, but the overall strength of these two is pretty similar. But with that, here's my recommendations on the types of bowlers that I think would match up well with the Theorem. The first is bowlers looking to get into their first big ball. Most of the time in our first couple years of league, we start off with the weak bowling balls that allow us to keep the game simple, but if you're ready for that next step, the Theorem will be a fun ball to learn how to throw well and will reward you with high scores when you throw good shots. The second recommendation is for players with a medium amount of tilt. I think that those with low tilt will struggle to get the Theorem to read the right part of the lane consistently, and I think that high tilt players will struggle to get the Theorem to slow down enough to do what it's designed to do. But just like Goldilocks, if you're in that mid-tilt zone of about 12 to 30 degrees, the Theorem will respond very well to that part of your game. The all-new Theorem might be a two-trick pony, but for those that know how to use it, they'll be sure to conclude that their theory of being at the top of the leaderboard was correct. And you can pick this up today and much more at bowlersparadise.com. Be sure you use that discount code YouTube at checkout for free shipping. Thank you to my friend Nick Puck for the drilling of this piece, and to Dale's Weston Lanes for letting us film this video. If you haven't yet, like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell for more ball and product reviews, but as always, remember you guys, having the right ball in your hands, now that's a bowler's paradise. Peace.